David Burketta, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Hi, Josh. Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. Thank you. I think we're ready to begin, Madam Chair.
Are we recording or not?
We are, well, it says it's recording.
Okay. I was looking at the button. I see it flashing now. Okay. Nicole, the special meeting of the Lyon County Board of County Commissioners. This is Monday, September 26, 2022 at 3:03 p.m. Action will be taken on all items unless otherwise noted. No action will be taken on any item until it's properly agendized. To avoid meeting disruption, please place cell phones and beepers in a silent mode or turn them off during the meeting. The board reserves the right to take items in a different order to accomplish business in the most efficient manner. Items may be combined for consideration and items may be pulled or removed from the agenda at any time. Restrictions on comments by the general public. Any such restrictions must be reasonable and may restrict the time, place, and manner of the comments, but may not, boy, I can't talk this afternoon, I apologize, but may not restrict comments based upon viewpoint. Board of County Commissioners special meeting. All or some board members may be zooming in, as you might note already in the seats. The public can access this meeting at the above meeting address. Roll call. I have Commissioner Henderson, myself, and Commissioner Jacobson in chambers. And I see Commissioner Gray. Do we have Commissioner?
Yes,
oh, there he is. Commissioner Hockaday are on Zoom. So all 5 commissioners are present. And if I can get everybody to please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Okay, public participation. No action will be taken on any item until it's properly agendized. It is anticipated that public participation will be held at this time, though it may be returned to at any time during this agenda. Citizens wishing to speak during public participation are asked to state their name for the record and will be limited to 3 minutes. The board will conduct public comment after discussion of each agenda action item, but before the board takes any action. So do I have anybody in chambers for public participation for something that's not on the agenda today? Seeing none, do I have anybody on Zoom for public participation that's not on the agenda? Seeing none, I'm going to go to number 4 for possible action, review and adoption of the agenda.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
You have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion? Public comment? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay,
Madam
motion.
Chair, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're kind of quiet.
Yeah, I had a comment before the it's okay, we'll push on though.
I didn't quite make out what you just said.
I had a comment before the vote.
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear you on that.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I was trying to figure out, I'm on a laptop this time and I'm not totally sure on how to use this one, but I just wanted to make a comment. I think item 5B is just kind of unnecessary. It's not the first time that, the commission's been down this road. It's not the first time we've had to hire employees in the county. So I just wanted to throw that out there, but I'm good with the way the vote turned out.
Okay, so moving forward, our first item up is for possible action to appoint Andrew Haskin as interim county manager and approve an associated employment contract. So real quickly, before I go to each of my commissioners for comment and hear from Mr. Haskin himself, I know everybody always knew somebody would retire someday. It can happen in any department, but when it happens suddenly, it always tends to catch us a little bit off guard. But I want to at least recognize every department head, elected or appointed. When this happened last Monday, every one of you stepped up, was on the phone with each other, on the phone with me. I was fielding calls, even from the city of Fernley and everything else, because they're like, we don't have a Jeff to call. So I was getting the calls. I have called this special meeting today because we are a county manager form of government, and we no longer have a county manager. So it's very imperative that we resolve the situation, even though it's interim at this point in time, so that the 5 of us don't have to meet here daily and help run the county. With that being said, again, I want to thank each and every one of you. I mean, Josh, Andrew, Eric, Shayla, I know all of you guys, Nikki, everybody's been on the phone. Everybody has been there for anything that came up in this last week and made sure that they handled it the best way that they could. And I just want to commend everybody in Lyon County that, you know, we always say this, we're kind of like that extended family. When the chips are down, we stick together, and that was very notable in this last week, and I want to thank you for that. So I'm going to start, well, Commissioner Gray's had his hand up, so I'm going to start with Commissioner Gray. I'm going to go through each commissioner and allow you, you know, express where we're at. So Commissioner Gray.
Okay, well, I will hold off then because I'm ready to make a motion. But we'll hold off on the motion, but I will tell everybody from staff, thank you. I've had to reach out to a couple folks, get some information, and everybody has done very well in this, you know, I'm not going to dance around it lightly, this traumatic situation to the county. We didn't see this coming, and everybody's done extremely well. And Andrew, I got to say, I'm extremely proud of you for wanting to step up and fill this void. You got some shoes to fill, but I think you can do it. So I'm going to step back at this point, but when you are ready for a motion, ma'am, I would like to throw my hat in and make the motion.
Okay, duly noted. I'm going to try to go to Commissioner Hockaday, just so I know sometimes in the afternoon he has a hard time with Zoom. Commissioner Hockaday, comments?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you're a little muffled. But
Hello?
we can,
Yeah, I just think that Mr. Haskin will do a good job. He's done a great job in community director, as community director. But that's about all I have to say since I don't have much of a voice. Thank you.
all right, thank you, Commissioner Hockaday. Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I too want to thank the county staff. I mean, I don't think any of us expected to be here at this particular point in time, but here we are. So we need to move forward as best we can. I do, however, have comments on the next agenda item. I do think it is important, so we will get to that. But yeah, I want to thank Mr. Haskin for making his resume available for us. I kind of knew a little bit about it, but it's nice to have it on the record to show how well qualified he is to step into the interim county manager position. And I'm looking forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to how this board decides to move forward on to fill the job permanently. So the only question I had, and actually it's not even gonna, I'm not even gonna ask it. So I'm good.
Okay, Commissioner Jacobson, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a question. Was this interim position offered to the other department heads?
I can actually answer.
I'll ask our HR director. Thanks.
Good afternoon, Eric Malowski, HR Director. This initiative was requested by Commissioner Keller, by the board chair. That being said, I think it would be fair to represent that staff supports this initiative. Mr. Foley and I last week met with or spoke with every elected and appointed department head. We talked with each one. We believe to a person, each one will support Andrew. To answer your question directly, I thought the context was relevant. Forgive me for providing context, but we did ask a few folks that we projected as potential candidates for either an interim or longer term appointments. And without betraying individual confidences and that kind of thing, the short answer to your question is that I think everyone is content to support Andrew in this endeavor. We'll rally around him, and it's that that is what's best for the county this time.
Thank you, Mr. Haskins. I agree that from working with Andrew and Mr. Haskins, excuse me for being a little informal there, Mr. Haskins, I agree he'll do an excellent job. He is very thorough, prepared, etc. However, I do not want, when I read through this and we just are appointing someone from within, I'm afraid of hearing the good old boy system and they put forward one of the good old boys. So with that, I wouldn't mind seeing in there as a whereas, and this is a discussion point. This isn't something that I'm going to lose sleep over, but I would not mind putting in there, whereas no other department heads working for Lyon County demonstrated an interest to fill the interim county manager position. I think that would demonstrate to the county that we've asked, we haven't just picked somebody, we've asked our department heads. We've heard from our HR that the department heads are supportive of Mr. Haskins. Our board, it sounds to me from the first few that have spoken that are in support of Mr. Haskins. I support Mr. Haskins. But I think if we put that in there, it may demonstrate the reasoning why we maybe didn't hold any formal type interviews to fill it or other, because I would guess that working as the interim county manager would definitely give Mr. Haskins or whomever took that spot a leg up on possibly filling the county manager position. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Eric, don't go too far away. You're HR. The fact that you did go out and speak to staff, the recommendation for the additional whereas, I have a little bit of concern with that because moving forward, and a department person, somebody in staff might decide they want to throw their hat in a ring down the road. I mean, we are only appointing an interim position at this time.
Madam Chair.
So I would have concerns with the language that Commissioner Jacobson just put out there that basically would eliminate them doing that. So I want your opinion from HR on how we approach that, because he was basically saying that they had no interest. And so I don't want to just move forward. That right now they're supportive of Andrew, and I got that, but I don't want to.
Madam Chair.
I saw that hand pop up. So Mr. Foley.
Josh Foley, Lyon County Comptroller. From risk management standpoint, and the DA can correct me if I step out of place here, but this employment contract is between Andrew and the county. It doesn't contemplate other employees, and I don't think that you want a legal contract to be able to provide additional potential for lawsuits against the county if a department head does step forward and do that. I think you want a contract. My recommendation for risk management is that you do a contract directly with Andrew Haskin, as far as being transparent about the other department heads and allowing them, if depending on the process the board chooses to fill the interim, you have on the record already that discussion. And so it's not like it's not transparent, hasn't been discussed and put on the record, and will be in the minutes for this meeting. But I don't believe that it would be prudent to include it as part of an employment contract and allow other people to have a vested interest in that contract other than the county and the Andrew Haskin.
Thank you. That's kind of where I was trying to go with that, but you put it much more eloquently. I heard a voice. Commissioner Gray, was that you?
I'm sorry. I guess great minds think alike, Josh. So I was going to mention that as well. I think Mr. Jacobson may be confusing this with a resolution. This is an employment contract, and that will not preclude anybody going forward from applying for the county manager position if and when that becomes open, an open position to fill. So I agree with both Ms. Keller and Mr. Foley on that.
Okay, and I just wanted to put it on the record too, that this is a county manager position. In a county manager form of government, the county manager is the county commission's one and only employee. Everybody else is either elected, appointed, or works under that county manager. And so when this agenda was requested, I am the one that reached out to Andrew initially, and it wasn't because I didn't consider anybody else in the county. I was looking for the interim person that I thought could step in and handle things while we move forward. So, yeah, although I appreciate your question and comments, Commissioner Jacobson, this is the one position that we hired literally from the top down, not from the bottom up, from staff recommendation. And I want to appreciate the fact that Eric and Josh went out and spoke with all the staff members and let them be aware of the direction we were going in and got their feelings on it. So I see it. I'm not ignoring it. So anyways, I'm going to go to Commissioner Henderson and for further comment here.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do have a question, and it's just the salary. What is the salary range that we have for county manager?
For employees who elect the employer-employee split option for PERS contributions, the salary range starts at approximately $172,400. So the proposed salary for Mr. Haskin is just a few thousand above that. That's significantly less than what's already been appropriated for this position in light of what the former county manager was making. Not that that's going to be the consideration that carries the day for you all, but just so you know that will be in budget. It's very close to the minimum range for employees who, like Mr. Haskin, choose to split the PERS contribution.
Thank you. That's my only question.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, I would like to turn it over to Mr. Haskin to, maybe say a few words on his own behalf and how he got here today.
Thank you. I'll keep it very brief. I just want to thank you for your consideration today. The events of last week were very unexpected, so I really appreciate even being considered today, and I think that I can do the job very well, and I wouldn't even dream of taking this on without the staff here. Lyon County has something special here. I've been with the county for a little over a year now, and this is my first time working in government. Of course, I was with a kind of a quasi-government organization before that, and so very familiar with how government operates, but still at the time wasn't sure what to expect. And so when I came in, I was not surprised, but very impressed by the quality of staff here. And like I said, I just wouldn't even dream about taking something like this on without the team that is here. I do intend to throw my hat in the ring for the permanent position, but look forward to the discussion on the process.
Any questions for Andrew?
Are you crazy?
Commissioner Jacobson?
I just want to thank you, Mr. Haskins, for stepping up. And I have a lot of confidence and know you'll do an excellent job. Truthfully, I have confidence in a lot of our department heads, and that's a good thing. So I support what you say there, Andrew, Mr. Haskins, sorry. And I agree with you. You have a wonderful, wonderful team around you that have proven themselves week in, week out, month in, month out. And that is a good problem to have. So too many people that are very qualified and doing a great job. So excellent work and what you've done since you've been with Lyon County, and you've obviously earned your spurs and trust, and we appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else questions for Andrew? Okay, if not, then I would like to turn it over to public comment. So I have anybody here in chambers for public comment. Step up, please state your name for the record.
Andy Seacheck, and I'm a vocal person from Lyon County, and I prefer not to talk about the various candidates because in my experience here in the county, I see lots of people that I would have confidence in were they the county manager. So I'd like to comment strictly on the process that we're going through under this really pressure situation. I can hearken back to my days when I was a real person. This is a traumatic issue to come up in a government, and I'm very, very comfortable in what I've been told and talked to from you folks and with the process as it's moving forward. I also support Andrew. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. It's because of the name, right?
There you go. Actually, no, I like this little girl.
Anyways, anybody else from in chambers, public comment on this item?
I'm Tammy Hendricks, and I'd just like to say that I strongly support this appointment. And I'll tell my name.
That's coming from another left-hander, so she's got to be spot on.
Scott Keller. And I'm just, as an incoming county commissioner, I just wanted to let Andrew know that I support him fully.
Thank you. Anybody else from chambers? No one? Okay, anybody on Zoom for public comment? Michael Carlson.
Yeah, I just want to say that I definitely support Andrew Haskins as the interim county manager 110%.
All right, thank you, Michael. Anybody else on Zoom? Do we have another page? Oh, we do have another page. I'm not seeing any hands, so. Okay, Commissioner Gray. Back
Yep.
to you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, if you're ready, I'd like to make a motion on item 5A. I'd like to make a
Okay.
motion that we appoint the very capable and affable Andrew Haskin as interim county manager and approve an associated employment contract.
Okay, I have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, I got a couple of seconds. So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, all in favor signal by saying aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? Okay, please note that the motion carries unanimously. I don't know whether to say congratulations or condolences, but welcome aboard and thank you for stepping up, Andrew.
Madam Chair. Andrew, you might want to check with the sheriff, see if he's got an extra flak vest, because you're probably going to need one.
Okay, so that brings us to item 5B for possible action, discussion and possible action to formulate a plan to recruit and hire a new county manager. This was requested by Commissioner Henderson.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. And I do think this agenda item is necessary. with the possible exception of you, I think you might have been here when the former county manager was hired, but none of the other of us, none of the other ones of us have ever participated in the hiring of a county manager.
Yeah, but some of us around were for it, and we were involved at the time it happened. That was my point.
Well, we've all hired people, but this is a county manager.
No, that's what I'm saying. We were around and involved in it.
Commissioner Gray, I have the floor, please. We're having a discussion.
Thank you. Commissioner Henderson, please.
Thank you. So I think, like I said, I think it is important that we at least go through it and kind of each express what our thoughts are moving forward on this so that we can formulate a plan to best serve Lyon County. And the reason why I wanted to bring it up at this meeting is I think we need to be as transparent as we can possibly be going through this process. And because it is one of the most important decisions this commission ever makes. You know, 'cause we are basically giving the keys to a multi-million-dollar corporation to an individual. So we need to make sure that we get the best person for the county. So that's why I asked for this agenda item. So if you want, I'll go ahead and express my ideas.
Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I'll tell you what I'm not in favor of. I'm not in favor of spending any money on a national search or a professional search. I do think that we owe it to the citizens of the county to publish the job and see what kind of applications that we get and look through them and then select the best person for the job. Personally, I would love for it to be someone from in-house or at least that understands Lyon County, but let's see what applications come in. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Gray, you got your hand up.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, Vida, you were very involved last time we hired the past 2 county managers, as was I. We were very intent on looking at what was going on with oh shoot, I can't remember her name now, and then the one that followed her. And as far as staff goes, Josh was right there too. So this is not a new issue. And if, correct me if I'm wrong, but we did do a national search last time on the very last one, and we did find our more capable candidate in-house, which was great. But I mean, this isn't new territory. I mean, it's what Commissioner Henderson has mentioned is already done, and actually he wants to scale it back from what we've done in the past. So I don't know that that's exactly the route we should go.
Okay, Commissioner Jacobson, did you have a comment?
Well, I'd be curious what Commissioner Gray's route we should go then. If he,
No, if I remember right, we announced it. We did a huge search for it, and there were, I believe, several candidates that they were whittled through. And I'd have to go back to actually and sit down and see and review notes and stuff. But it was a very thorough search. It wasn't done haphazardly, and it was all done in the public view. Especially going from Ms. Christoponis to the next county manager.
Mr. Foley, please.
Josh Foley, Lyon County Comptroller. Just from my recollections, we went through when Steve Snyder, who was the first county manager for Lyon County, retired. We had Rita Vasovic appointed as interim, and then there was a national search. Donna Christoponis was selected by the Board of County Commissioners at that time from the national search. When she left employment with Lyon County, we went through a second national search. We had Bob Hadfield, I believe, as interim appointed at the time. And we chose Dennis Stark at that time. When Dennis Stark left, the Board of County Commissioners, in a similar process to what we're doing today with Andrew Haskin, came and had a discussion and hired Jeff Page as interim county manager. He served, if my memory is correct, for approximately 3 months in that role. And then the Board of County Commissioners did not open the position up for everybody. They just hired Jeff Page immediately based on that criteria. So I do want to let the board have that information. I'm not recommending anything one way or another. I'm just providing the history of what we've been through for the past 3 county managers.
Thank you, Mr. Foley. Yeah, and Commissioner Gray, yeah, I'm glad Josh laid that out because I was unfortunately going to have to correct you because I was actually running for commissioner when that all happened with Jeff Page, and I was down here almost on a daily basis and at every meeting. And so, yeah, after some troubles that they had had in the past, they decided not to advertise it. They did appoint Jeff as the interim, and it was literally 90 days from the time he was appointed interim to his permanent appointment. So they did not advertise. They decided that keeping it in-house was the best way to go. And he's been our county manager for what, going on 12 years. So I don't think that that process was necessarily a bad one. Commissioner Jacobson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, as I read that agenda item, I believe that we can open it up in-house. We have no pressure to hire in-house, none whatsoever. We don't like our candidates that apply. We go outside and we keep it open as long as it takes to fill it with someone that fulfills Lyon County's needs. With that said, I do support obviously this agenda item to plan, recruit a new county manager, because then we post the job description, we post the salary schedule, and the people of Lyon County see all of that as well. So I think I don't think a recruiting process hurts us. I don't think even if it's just from within first and then we move outside of that. But definitely post the job description, salary schedule, and any other items that Eric and his team deem necessary in that. And then after, I believe how it may work, and Eric maybe can straighten me out after this, after someone accepts the job, then they work through their contract, we negotiate that contract, and that's an open process as well. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Gray, you have your hand up.
Yeah, no, I apologize. I did get that one messed up with Jeff. But I don't think, I mean, until we know how Andrew performs, I don't think we even need to know if there's a process, because we may indeed just go the same route that we've gone, that was gone with Jeff. But yeah, I forgot he was interim and then was appointed directly. But I think we may be putting a lot of work into something we may not need to do, because I, for one, think Andrew is gonna, excuse my French, kick ass and take names. I also want to let you know, Dave Hockaday just let me know that he's having a very hard time talking now. His voice is gone. So we may need to figure out a different way for him to vote when it comes vote time.
Okay. Thank you for that. Commissioner Henderson, did you have anything to add, or?
No, I just wanted to open the discussion because I think it's, discussion that we do need to have. And I do, even though I do also have confidence in Mr. Haskin, I do think that we owe it to the residents of Lyon County to open the position up and receive other applications.
Well, I have a little bit of an issue. I have no issue opening up in-house, obviously. The decision to move forward with today's meeting was because it was imperative to have an interim county manager, period. That is our one and only employee, like stated, and we needed somebody in that position. Somebody on the other end of that phone call, besides poor Josh, have to take them all. But as far as opening it up to in-house, I think, anybody that's in-house that may have a desire that, hey, they understood we were under a situation and they wanted to support Andrew at this juncture. Thank you very much. But they may still have that wish to put their name in the hat. So I wouldn't have a problem with opening it in-house, but to open it beyond that at this time, I agree. I mean, we need to give Andrew a chance. It's like, oh, wait a minute. We want you to step in, fill the big shoes. But by the way, we're looking for your replacement starting now. I have a little issue with that. Let's see what we can do. The best county manager, and I'm sorry, we've had 4 county managers. The best county manager this county has ever had was Jeff Page. Whether you agreed with him, disagreed with him, and Lord knows there was times I disagreed with him. And we had those discussions. But overall, being there for this county, he was one of the best county managers we had. And the reason for that, not only did he have historical knowledge, but he was from Lyon County. He made Lyon County, born, raised here, doesn't matter. He made Lyon County his home. And so it was in his heart to do the best thing he could for Lyon County. We have other people within our staff that are in that same position. Andrew is one of them that had chose to move to Lyon County before he ever went to work for us. Him and his wife made a conscious decision that Lyon County is where they want to put their forever home, make it his home. He went to work for us as the community development director. He's made that his own as well. And I think he's communicated very well with all the department heads and why he's got the support he has today. So I just want to be very careful on what we put into our process. I would like to leave it open when there's only 5 commissioners that make this decision. Policies and procedures are great, but I want to be able to have a little bit of wiggle room moving forward to have open discussion with my fellow commissioners on how we handle things when it comes to the county manager's office. You know, we fight all the time with the state, you know, to give us more power to make decisions. And then I don't want to give up the one decision we do get to make. So again, I wouldn't have an argument at all in opening it up in-house, but beyond that, I think we should move forward and give the interim position a little bit of time, because this discussion can come back on any agenda. It's not a done deal on any one day. It can be brought back at any time for further discussion. So
That's fine. But I just want to make sure that the public knows that, and again, Mr. Haskins, nothing against you, nothing against your ability. I'm a strong supporter of yours, but we have to make sure, and now my train of thought went way away, that by appointing Andrew as the interim doesn't mean that he is necessarily going to be the permanent county manager. You know, we appoint, we don't anoint. I want to just make sure that's clear.
yeah, and that was not my intent at all, other than to solve, as your chairman of the board, making a decision, we had to have a meeting. We had to solve a problem. That's what we're here today, and that's to solve the interim problem. But as far as the rest of the discussion, like I said, that can be brought back on every agenda if we want to, moving forward. So I would like to, maybe the 5 of us, you know, take this consideration home with us, maybe bring it back in an, you know, another meeting, the next one, the one after that, you know, kind of, we'll have an interim county manager that we can request the agenda item and what we're thinking. And as our interim county manager, he can help put that together for us with Eric's help, and Josh, I'm sure, because everybody's going to be there to help him. Commissioner Jacobson, you have a comment?
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Keller, Chair Keller, sorry. With this, I think this is a perfect opportunity for the Board of County Commissioners to collect some feedback from our department heads. The department heads can collect some feedback from their departments. They can give us feedback when we're having a change. A lot of times change is good. Matter of fact, majority of the time change is good. If you do it planned and with a purpose. So what we need to do is I feel we need to collect feedback from our department heads. The department heads collect feedback from their departments, and things that were going really well under page, we continue. And things that maybe need to be tweaked, we look at tweaking that, and we have discussions about that. We get feedback from those departments, and we move forward in a planned, organized that makes Lyon County even stronger. And so I would like for us during this interim period to be gathering some of that. I'm not trying to pile work on. It doesn't take long to jot down some thoughts, have a department meeting, get some feedback from your staff and provide that to us. It's a short process that will save us a great deal of time and make the transition even more clear on in those respects. And I'm sure Mr. Haskins will continue to work towards his strengths and improve on any weaknesses they may have, but we always are stronger when we're leading from our strengths. So this would also give Mr. Haskins or whomever time to think about, the direction and provide us some ideas that they have to make that interim county commissioner or interim county manager position even stronger. So I would like to see us put together some sort, and that might be HR, I'm not sure, but maybe they can work through that and get feedback from the departments and the department chairs. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jacobson. And one of the comments, I totally get, appoint, not anoint. Hey, Mr. Haskin might get in here and after a week or two, you might call us up and say, hey, I'm out of here. Give me my old job back. So yeah, I mean, that's the reason why it's an interim position, is so that we as the commission have time to have discussions and move things forward. Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I agree with your previous comments completely. I wanted to get this on the agenda so that we could start having these discussions. And I agree with you completely. Now we can go back. The five of us can think about it and we'll come back and have further discussions.
Is that a motion?
If you want it to be a motion, or we can just take no action at all.
Well, a motion to take
Okay.
no action at this time. Or...
Then, Madam Chair, I move that we take no action at this time, but keep the right to bring this item back at future agendas.
I'll second that. Okay, public comment. Anybody for public comment? Mr. Andy.
Andy Seacheck, Stagecoach, Lyon County. I don't agree or disagree with anything I've heard today. I'd like to support Mr. Henderson's views, but as a member of the public, we have invested power in your hands. I would hate to feel that, to some respect, you're kicking this issue down the street. I believe that the person that is going to be assisting you in the county manager role will sink or swim of his own volition. That's not the issue. The issue is that you guys do the job we pay you for. That includes perhaps going out on a national survey. You decide that, but the public is going to be watching. We hope that you guys will fulfill this thing and not kick it down the road.
Thank you, Mr. Seacheck. Called you by your first name earlier, so it's out of habit. Kind of like Andrew doesn't have a last name today, right? We get relaxed. Mr. Keller.
Scott Keller. One of the things that has happened to me in my past is that we opened it up to everybody, to a position to everybody. We hired from outside of our departments. And what happened is we had a bunch of department people resigning because of the conflict it created within the departments. Right? So when you open it up to everybody in the county and they don't get the job, they might leave their job because of the resentment. So that did happen in the past, or in my own private life. To me, you don't know if Andrew's going to stay on, if he's capable, or anything else. But you guys are elected officials. It's your only employee. It's not the public's employee. It's your employee. You're the only one. All the department heads. So you guys make the choice, and you guys have to figure out what is necessary for you to make that decision. It's not a policy matter. It's if you need some more information, you ask for more information. But it doesn't go out to the public. It goes out to you guys. You guys are the ones who make that decision.
Any other public comments? Jeff, do we still, I'm Jeff. God, that's habit.
Oh,
That's gonna be a habit hard to break. Josh was, thank you, you went to second page. So, oh, yeah, that's gonna be a tough one to break. Okay, so no more public comment. So Commissioner Gray.
Madam Chair, yeah, I just want to dovetail back into that also. And I'm not trying to stifle public participation, but there are very few decisions we get to make outside of, policy and procedure and law and everything else. And as you so, astutely noted yourself that, Jeff Page is our only employee. And if we have policy and procedure that tells us how we have to do it and allows no flexibility, I think that does preclude us from doing our job the way we see fit on behalf of the county as elected representatives. So, if we've got a policy that says you will go national, we have no choice but to spend that money and do that. If we've got a policy that says you will hire from within and we have nobody qualified, there again, our hands are tied. So I think we need to leave some extreme flexibility open in this. If we had been bound by policy and procedure, we never would have been able to probably hire Jeff from being an interim to being a full-fledged county manager. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm not, in most things, I'm not opposed to having a policy and procedure and standard operating practices, but this is one of those things that is extremely important to all five of us that I think we need to be able to have as much flexibility as possible.
Okay, that being said, we do have a motion to take no action at this time with the ability to bring it back in the future. And that has been seconded. So with no further discussion, we've done public comment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Oh, we got a thumbs up. Thank you, Mr. Hockaday, Commissioner Hockaday. Okay, so with that, I'm going to move on to commissioner comments. I will start with Commissioner Hockaday. If he wants to try to speak, it's up to you.
I'll pass.
All right. Get well soon.
I'll try.
Yeah. Commissioner Gray, commissioner comments real quick.
Yeah, just a couple of quick ones. One, Dayton Valley Days was phenomenal. I froze my my butt off up until the middle of the night after sitting in that dunk tank, but it was a great time, great event. Saw a lot of great people. Also, now that Mr. Page is gone, we also have another void that I think we need to get on the next agenda. The agenda summaries are due today. I think we really need to look at either hiring an emergency manager or hiring an interim emergency manager, especially as we move into the winter months. That seems to be when we have the most issues. So if we still have time, I'd like to get that on the next agenda so we can begin that process. Thank you.
Commissioner Gray, it's already on the agenda.
Okay, I haven't seen the draft, so good. Great minds think alike.
All right. Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no further comments at this time.
Commissioner Jacobson.
I believe County Manager Page was with the county for 34 years. I'd just like to thank him for 34 years of service and wish him well.
And with that being said, yeah. Just remember, Jeff's still going to be around. He'll be a phone call away when we absolutely need him to go, okay, why did we do this? I've worked with Jeff. Like I said, the year I ran for county commissioner is the year he got appointed interim, and he got the permanent position literally with a month and a half or something before I took my seat. So I feel like we kind of grew into this whole position together, and kind of like brothers and sisters. We chose to argue a lot of times, and we chose to back each other up a lot of times. And even though we knew eventually Jeff was going to retire, obviously this kind of came to us sudden. But I want everybody to please allow him his privacy, and hopefully we'll get an opportunity to celebrate him properly for everything that he has done for this county. like I said, I've seen that man down in the trenches, phone calls 3 or 4 in the morning, no sleep at all. He's always there. He had always been there. And so, Andrew, I would say you have big shoes to fill, but you're bigger than he is. So anyways, got to shrink those feet. But welcome aboard. And I look forward to working with you as the interim. And again, I want to thank everybody this last week as my phone was ringing me off the hook. And I was taking those calls at midnight and asking Josh, going, what the heck are you doing up this late? Don't you go to bed before now? It's been an interesting week. So, but anyways, thank you everybody for being here today and all the great comments, and appreciate the support from everyone as Lyon County moves into a new chapter. So with that being said, I'm going to go to my very last public participation. Any hands? Nobody? Okay, last call. This meeting is adjourned.